There are two main ways to solve percent problems. There's proportions and there's equations. So we'll do proportions in this section, and then the next section we'll look at equations. And after you've done the homework in each of those ways, then you can decide what makes the most sense to you. We can set up percent problems as proportions. And we did proportions earlier in this chapter. So percent problems can be set up like this. The part over the whole equals the percent over 100. Or sometimes people like to think of it as is over of equals the percent over 100. So we'll set this up. We won't solve this one, but it says 64% of what number is 25? So if we think about that, is over of equals percent over 100. The is the 25. The of says what number? So that's our x. We don't know that. 64 has a percent sign after that, so that's our percent, and we put it over 100. Now this problem said do not solve, so this is our answer, just setting it up. Example 2. Gabby had 142 points on her final exam. If her score was 91%, how many points was it possible to get on her final exam? Write the percent proportion that represents a situation. Do not solve. So she got 142 points, and we don't know what the possible points are. So the part that she got was 142, and we don't know the whole. She got 91%, so we put 91 over 100. Now, it told us again not to solve, so that's our answer. If the value of Ryan's stock went down 39%, what percent of his investment does he still have? Well, this is not a percent problem like we've been doing. It's just asking you to remember that percents are out of 100. So if he lost 39%, we can just do 100 minus 39, and that gives us 61. That means he still had 61%. Okay, so here's the problem, another problem, and this time we want to solve it. So 15% of what number is 30? So remember, is over of equals percent over 100. Is 30, so that will go on top. Of what number means we don't know that number. 15%, so we'll put 15 over 100. So we solved these earlier in the chapter. We'll cross multiply. So 30 times 100 is 3,000. And then 15 times x is 15x. We'll divide both sides by the number in front of x. So 3,000 divided by 15 is 200. So the answer is 200. In a recent poll, 607 of 1,249 adults felt the amount of federal income tax they paid is too high. To the nearest whole percent, what percent of adults felt the amount of federal income tax they paid was too high? So remember, we're doing is over of equals percent over 100, or part over whole. So in this case, this is our is, or our part, and this is our whole, or our of. So we have 607 out of 1,249. We don't know the percent, that's what we're trying to find, out of 100. So we'll multiply, find the cross product. And then we're going to divide both sides by the number in front of p. So we have 60,700 divided by 1,249. and we get 48.5988, and it keeps going, equals P. It did tell us to the nearest whole percent, so we look at the number after the decimal. It's 5 or higher, so we want this one to go up, and our answer would be 49%. Withholding for federal and state taxes amounts to 20% of Thomas's pay. If Thomas earns $202 weekly, how much of his pay is deducted for federal and state income taxes? So this 202 is the whole pay. That's going to go on the bottom. We don't know the part that's taken out, but the percent is 20 over 100. So we'll find the cross product. 100 times x is 100x, and 202 times 20 is 4,040. Then we'll divide by 100 on both sides. That gives us 40.4. Now this is money, so we want to remember that we should have two numbers after our decimal for money. So it's $40.40. And that's how you use proportions to solve percent problems.